life. He was the head of the IDF at the Six-Day War because he knew about power. He knew that the power of the State of Israel needs to be built on real foundations, powerful foundations. Power does not come from guns that are waved in the air. Guns are the weapons of the cowards. This was the weapon of Yigal Amir. The strength of the State of Israel was built by Rabin and his friends on completely other foundations. The first foundation is the rule of law. The IDF that Rabin was one of his builders is not just another Middle Eastern gang. It is a law-abiding army of a democratic state. It is an army that takes the responsibilities of holding strength. Our soldiers know that they serve in an army that has clear rules. It is not just a value issue. It is part of the building of our strength. If there are no proper laws, there is no way to manage the military. If anyone can fire whenever he feels like it, this is not an army. These are militias. If you want to know what happens when you let the military get to these places, no problem. Look at the Middle East. We are no short of such countries. Exactly because of that, they always lost to the IDF in the wars. If we become like our enemies, we will lose the war. The second foundation of Israel's strength is the fact that we are part of the winning side of the international community, the side of the Western technological West. The Israeli power is also based on the commitment of the Western world to our security. A nation of its own does not get Apache helicopters, does not get satellite images of Syria, does not get assistance in the development of Iron Dome. Rabin, which was an ambassador in Washington before he was appointed as prime minister for the first time, he knew all of this. The third foundation is the strength of democracy. It is no coincidence that the only democracy in the Middle East is also the most successful country in the Middle East. Democracy is not just a just system, it is also the most efficient system. Without democracy, there is no startup nation, there is no science, there is not ongoing flow of creative ideas that build the finance of the country and its strength. And the last foundation of Rabin's force was the aspiration for peace. Like in other things, he saw this very simply. Will Israel be stronger or weaker if there is peace? The answer is that it will be stronger. From here, from this stage, from this role that I'm holding now, time after time he explained to the world that he will never agree to a peace that weakens Israel, but only to peace that strengthens Israel. Only a peace is creating power, not at any cost, not in every way, but at the bottom line, if there is true peace, the Israeli security will be strengthened, the Israeli economy will strengthen, the Israeli social strength will improve, so we need to strive for peace. These are the foundations of Rabin's sense of power: the law, democracy, progress, and peace. And then came a man that did not believe in law, did not believe in democracy, did not believe in progress, and did not believe in peace, and murdered him. It is known to say that you can kill people, but you cannot kill ideas. That is incorrect. You can kill ideas. The most beautiful ideas are being killed all over the world every day. What will happen with Israel's sense of power depends on us. It depends on what we will do in the next few years. If Israel neglects the rule of law, breaks down the democracy, takes back the progress and our ties with the international community, and leave the aspiration for peace, it will be a weaker country, and Rabin's ideas will be buried beside him. We will not let that happen. Yes, this moment in time is not a good time for these ideas, but we do not believe in what we believe just because they promise us it's going to be easy, and we not fight for our goals only when we have insurance that it's going to work out. Rabin fought in the battle for Jerusalem in the Independence War, and in the Six-Day War, he went to become prime minister. From there, he went to the opposition. And then he came back to be prime minister, because he knew that you must fight for your ideas every day anew. This does not come easy. The real test is not the success. The real test is the failures. Rabin taught us that in this business that all of us are in, managing states, you are measured on the question of whether you're willing to go the whole way with what you feel is right, with what you feel with your values and principles. I stand here as the Israeli Prime Minister and say to you, even after the murder, even after everything that has happened since the murder, this is not the end. Yitzhak Rabin is gone. His ideas live with us. May his memory be a blessing. Thank you.
תודה רבה לראש הממשלה. אני מתכבד להזמין את חבר הכנסת בנימין נתניהו, ראש האופוזיציה, בבקשה.
Mr. President, Speaker, distinguished Prime Minister, President of the Supreme Court judges, ministers, members of Knesset, the Rabin family, distinguished guests. A few days after the general elections, that is characteristic of the Israeli democracy. We commemorate the dreadful murder of Yitzhak Rabin, may his memory be a blessing, a violent act that has been an attack on democracy. Democracy is a gift, an expression of freedom of man. A political murder is a horrifying expression of
Yitzhak
Rabin was a patriot, a lover of the country. He fought for Israel. He managed the military and represented Israel in the world. Above all, he was an elected leader of the State of Israel. The bullets that took his life remind us that we must never allow the fist to replace the force of convincing. Twice, Rabin stood in this house and presented his government as prime minister in 1974 and in 1992. In the first time, 48 years ago, he said at the Knesset, we wish a variety of opinions, freedom of opinions, a fight between opinions. Beyond the division of government and opposition, we must not hurt the most important value, our unity, our national unity, based on our rights, based on our will to build the country. Israel of 2022 cannot be compared to the Israel of 1974 and not to the Israel of 1992. The country is more developed, stronger, prosperous. We've turned it into a rising power among nations, and this is a destination that will continue to stand in front of our eyes in the coming years. What Rabin said back then about unity in the people continues to exist today. After the election campaign ended, after the dust of the arguments have toned down, we need to come out of the bushes and work together. The differences will not go away, and that is fine. We have harsh arguments that must be run responsibly. An ideological fight is allowed in democracy. It is right to argue. We don't need to agree on everything. But, and I want to stress this here, we must know what to agree on, what most of us agree on. I believe there are core issues that we have a national consensus about. There is a wide consensus that the state of Israel was and will be the nation-state of the Jewish people. Israel is a country where civil rights are saved for everyone. But on the national level, the people of Israel have a right for its country in the Jewish state. The right of every Jewish man to come to Israel. The flag, our national symbols. Yitzhak Rabin believed in so. With all his heart, there is an agreement that we must fight terror without compromises. Throughout Zionism, the terrorists wish to tear us apart from our land. They will not succeed. We will beat them. And even in the current wave, there is a wide consensus that we must work aggressively against Iran's aggression. That was also at the time of Iran. Its aggression does not know any stops. We will continue to stop Iran's ambitions to acquire nuclear weapons and continue to keep our freedom to act. When you build your national power, then you build your agreements. And therefore Israel, in order to gain alliances and gain peace, has to be very strong, even in the terms of weapon and economy. While there is no long-term agreement with the Palestinians and does not seem to be coming anytime soon because of the refusal of the Palestinians, there is a wide agreement that Israel must maintain the security control on all of the territory west of the Jordan River. Yitzhak Rabin, in the last speech here at the Knesset, has stressed this specifically. He added another thing that has a wide consensus, that Jerusalem is the united capital of Israel under Israel's sovereignty. We must extend the circle of peace with the Arab states. I supported Rabin's peace with Jordan. That was the second agreement after that of Menachem Begin with Egypt. 2 years ago, we brought 4 more peace agreements and normalizations with the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan. We strive to expand even further peace for peace, peace from power, safe peace for generations. I believe that a large part of this House, the understanding that we must not let the Palestinian veto to prevent us from signing new peace agreements. The order will be opposite. It is pretty clear that this is the way it will be. First, peace with the Arab states and perhaps with most of the Arab states, and only then, I believe, the Palestinians will come to their senses with an agreement that we could live with. There is a wide agreement about the need to improve the economy through open economy. Another change that has happened over the past 20 years. There is no way to succeed with a closed economy, but only from a free economy. As much as we can, there is a wide consensus about extracting the gas from the water, about improving the Negev. It is not a matter of right and left, it is a national will that is needed at the 75th year of Israel's existence. I am certain that Rabin would sign on this. I do not hide the disagreements I had with Yitzhak Rabin on many issues. I had disagreements with him about the Oslo agreements. I had disagreements about agreeing to allow those who do not cease to want to destroy the state of Israel. I was against giving territories to Palestinians which will become basis of terror against us. What did come to force, just as Rabin was loyal to his truth, so will I be here. When Rabin presented his first government in front of the Knesset, he ended with the following words: looking back at the days of the establishment of the State of Israel, we have managed to learn our lessons from the toughest tests that have allowed us to find new paths. This is the secret of this wonderful nation. When we fall, we are able to rise again. When we are weakened, we know how to strengthen. When we go down the hill, we are determined to climb back to the top of the mountain. Wherever we can, we must thrive for agreements, for unity. These are multipliers of power for the future of the State of Israel. We'll remember this every day, especially on the Remembrance Day for Yitzhak Rabin, that has contributed so much for our people, for our country, and for our people. May he be of blessing.
מתכבד להזמין את חברת הכנסת מרב מיכאלי, שרת התחבורה והבטיחות בדרכים, בבקשה.
Benjamin Netanyahu speaking in Parliament. The second memorial service on this day for Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who was assassinated by a far-right extremist at a peace rally in Tel Aviv 27 years ago. The Nobel Peace Laureate was killed by extremist Yigal Amir on November the 4th, 1995. And the memorial ceremony is taking place in Israel today, the first a few hours ago at Mount Herzl, the second right now in Parliament. And we heard the opposition leader there, Benjamin Netanyahu, addressing Parliament the first time since the results of the election, the fifth election in 4 years in this country. And he's describing Yitzhak Rabin as a patriot, a man who fought for Israel, but was also an elected leader. He also then went on to talk about the issues that create consensus in the country, the issues going forward that involve the fight against terror, Iran's aggression, fighting the nuclear ambitions of Iran, speaking about Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, and the need for normalization deals between Israel and Arab nations